Haiti may have fallen out of the headlines, but the country remains on edge after a month of anti-government protests. Demonstrators have been calling for the resignation of President Jovenel Moise since the start of February. He's accused of misusing funds meant for development, and protesters argue corruption has destroyed the economy. President Moise has launched a committee for national dialogue, saying talks are the only way out of the crisis, but opposition leaders have called for an independent investigation into missing aid money. Meanwhile, a group of heavily armed Americans were arrested in Haiti and sent back to the US amid rumors of a criminal conspiracy. Well, to discuss all this, let's speak to Haiti's Foreign Minister, Bocchit Edmond, who joins me now from Port-au-Prince. Bocchit, good to have you back on the Newsmakers, this time as Foreign Minister. The last time we had you from London. Pleasure having you on the show. We've been watching developments in your country very closely. We've seen those massive protests on the streets, the reports of a massive jailbreak, the deaths on the streets. All is not well. Is your country facing big problems right now?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back on your show. So I need to tell you that there is a description you gave at the beginning of your interview, of my interview. We need to clarify that President Moise is not being accused of misusing the funds of Petro-Caribbean. Petro-Caribbean was long before President Moise arrived in office, but unfortunately, he has a responsibility to carry out justice in terms of clarifying or looking exactly what happened with that money. But I should tell you that the request of the youth, this is a legitimate request to have clarifications or to have more explanation on what happened. But unfortunately, we need to tell you that those peaceful movements have been unfortunately hijacked by radical groups, and all those devastation you've seen, and I can see your viewers
yes.
are seeing now, they are not part of a peaceful protest, particularly of those who have asked for clarification on the misuse of Petro-Caribbean funds.
Right. Yeah. So sorry to interrupt. Yeah, certainly. And we want absolute clarity. Yes. So now the protest began when the Senate, right? I mean, I don't need to tell you the story. You know the story. But for the sake of our viewers, the Senate conducted that investigation. The president was at the center of it, right? They're looking for a connection between the presidency and the misuse of funds. And the people on the streets want answers because they believe billions have been misused. That discount was supposed to go to aid and development to help rebuild after the earthquake and so on and so forth. And that was misused. The people want answers. Bocchit, Minister, are they going to get answers?
Of course they have to get answers, because as I told you at the beginning, it is legitimate for those people, for the Haitian people, particularly the youth, to ask for a clarification and how that money was spent and why that money was spent the way it was spent. It is legitimate. I said that. But as you know, in any country, we do have what they call the due process. Mm-hmm. The president is certainly the guarantor of the functioning of all institutions of the country, but the justice is an independent body. The justice has to do what they have to do, and the High Court of Accounting already gave a report on what happened. Certainly now it's very important for the justice system to step in, as they already stepped in, so they can carry out the investigation and share light on exactly what happened. But this is what I'm saying. So, we are not saying here at the government that the request of the people is not legitimate. Certainly this is a legitimate request, but there is a legal process to be followed.
Okay, and that's been heard loud and clear. Now, a lot of people read the news and wonder what the hell is going on with the 5 Americans who were arrested, because they weren't just ordinary Americans, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Marines. They had weapons, drones, satellite phones in their vehicles. It's like an episode of The Punisher for people. They don't know what's going on. Why are these Americans there? Who are they working for? What the hell were they doing amid the protests? Do you have any idea as the foreign minister?
Unfortunately, I wish I could give you an exact answer of why they were here. But I know the Minister of Justice, particularly with regards to those foreign citizens that were arrested. I believe they have been released, but I cannot tell you exactly why, the reason they were arrested. But I can tell you it's a matter of, it's a legal issue that I don't really manage.
But certainly,
so
I mean, I understand.
I cannot clearly tell you exactly what happened.
And from my end, if it was an active legal issue within Haiti, I would stand down. I wouldn't even ask you about it, you know, because I don't want to interfere with that process. But your Minister of Justice authorized the sending of the group back to the United States and said that they must stand trial. So that was done. But they're not standing trial in the US and they've been set free. So has that been a disappointment to your government?
To some extent, I believe it might be a disappointment for a lot of people. But unfortunately, I don't want to go deeper into this because I really don't have those facts. But I can refer you to particularly to the U.S. authorities. They might tell you exactly why they're being released, why they are not being able to stand trial on the states. What I can figure out, I might figure out that they did not commit any crime on the U.S. territory. Therefore, the lawyers might put that as a defense. This is my guess, but I will refer you to the U.S. authorities to find out exactly what
clearly
was the issue.
You'd be asking the U.S. authorities for answers here. The Haitian people will be asking for answers. You have these foreigners who are heavily armed and professionally trained mercenaries, ex-SEALs, ex-Marines. A Serb was amongst them, an additional Haitian. They're arrested in the midst of demonstrations, sent to the U.S., set free. Can you understand the anger of your people?
Of course, but I'm not in a position to qualify them as mercenaries or whatsoever because I don't know. I can tell you that the people, most of the sectors, they are not happy about it. It is a fact. But I think we'll continue to find out, to discuss and talk with those responsible to find out what exactly happened.
Do you know, but you're not allowed to tell us, or do you not know?
I do not know.
Okay, because the U.S. Department of State issued that level 4 travel warning after the arrest of these men. Do not travel to Haiti due to crime and civil unrest. What was their intention behind that? Were they threatening you?
No, not really. I believe I mean, first of all, that decision of the U.S. to put a category for it is it's a very bad warning. It is not in the interest of the country. It has been a hit for the tourism sector. And I don't think it was appropriate to do that. But it's not after the arrest of those five people. This is something they always put whenever there is some political disturbances, not only in Haiti, but many places. But our surprise was to see Haiti to be considered as countries at war, to get a category 4. It was really regretful. And we said that to the Undersecretary of State, David Hale, who was in Haiti last week. We expressed that to him, and we expressed our discontent on this decision. And I believe the most important thing to be done at this level is for us Haitians to sit down and seek a solution to come back to normalcy.
What was his response to you, sir? Bocchit, what was his response to you?
You know, the response always been the same. It's a duty of the State Department to issue those statements to inform the American citizens. They are not telling them not to come, but they just warn them something is happening, and it's up to them to decide to come or not. But at the end of the day, that decision really borders us, and it hit our tourism sector that is trying to be, to revive itself. So we just don't like it. We express our discontent to them, and then we believe this issue will be considered differently. And at the same time, we recognize we Haitians, we need to sit down and look for a solution for our country.
Right.
Because it is not in our interest to see, for instance, the work we've been doing for the last 8 years to put Haiti's back again on the international tourism sector has been, disappear in less than 1 week.
As foreign minister, is a lot of your job to try and encourage foreign investment to shore up the economy? Is that at the heart of what you're trying to do?
Absolutely. It is. It has been very. It has made my job even more difficult, because once you are trying to convince foreign investors and to come to your country, and a country where there are a lot of potentialities, but when those foreign investors, they are seeing those kind of level of violence into the country, it's really discouraged them. So there is an issue here. We cannot talk about foreign and direct investment without political stability. And if we keep showing that political instability in our own country, it certainly will push those foreign investors away. But that's why we believe it is the president has decided to launch a national dialogue. So between us Haitians, we can come to a common ground where the national interest will be put first, or the personal interest or political parties. So I can express to you, and I can reiterate, that the president is really willing to sit down and with all parties, all sectors, and to discuss every matter, all issues, so we can come to a common ground, so the country's interests will be put first.
Foreign Minister of Haiti, Bocchit Edmond, always a pleasure having you on the Newsmakers. Thank you so much for taking the time.
It has been a pleasure to be with you again, and hopefully I'll be back for a better reason instead of showing those issues.
Oh, well, very soon. Well, we'll keep a close eye. We care a lot about Haiti on this show. Thanks so much again.